Hello, good morning, and welcome to another video. So, we are going to start another day in the life of a massage therapist video. The first thing first is, well, let's talk about yesterday. Yesterday was pretty slow. We're here, like, we have spring break going on now, so yesterday was pretty slow. I didn't mind at all, and slow for me was instead of booking 5 appointments, I booked 3 appointments, but one of those appointments was a 90 minutes. So slow in a sense, slower than normal, but yet and still, it was still a good day. All 3 of my clients had upgrades, so that's good. I want to show you something like this video. We get straight to the point. Can you tell? I usually just keep track of all of the upgrades just for like tax purposes at the end of the year. And then also just so I can keep track of the services that I provided. I keep track of all the upgrades. I'm not so familiar on how much I get paid for them all, but I'm working on that like as I go. My old paycheck and then see how much the things are. So I'm going to edit all those in. And then another thing I do is, so this is just something that I came up with for myself. It's like a coding system, right? So red means it needs to be paid to me, and blue means I've already received the money for it. Tips, of course, they just stay white because that's for tax purposes. And then just to help me out at the end of the year, I'm just calculating it and then putting the price by it. I also wanted to add in here that this is only for like money that's not documented. So when people pay cash, definitely that's the reason why I'm tracking the tips, because at the end of the year when you file taxes, you're actually supposed to report all these things. As far as the commissions and the stuff that I get paid from the spa, they'll give you a W-2 form. Like if you're a W-2 employee, they give you a W-2 form with all the taxes and all that kind of stuff worked out. Even credit card tips, you're being taxed on those things. So I just keep those just to see how much the paycheck will be. But the cash, like let's say I do a mobile massage appointment like through the apps or for myself, those things I keep track of so that I am able to pay taxes on them. So that's the reason for that. I'm not keeping track of things that are already documented, aside from, like I said, the upgrades, but definitely keeping track of the money that's undocumented. I say I'm going to do this every year, and then by the end of January, I forget about it. But guess what? This year we're doing it, okay? Because we're doing this full time this year. So this year we're doing the right thing, because taxes, you don't want that smoke, okay? So with all that being said, with all that out of the way, today's schedule. Here's today's schedule, 3 appointments again, and let me tell you, I'm glad about it. One of those appointments are 90-minute. As you can see, when somebody books a 90-minute, obviously it takes away from time from me being able to book more. Now, you could move your break if there's something that, you choose to do, but I'm not moving my break. My break is staying. So because a 90-minute is booked, I only have 3 appointments, and I'm okay with that because I do get paid like an upgrade fee for the appointment. So that's what my schedule is looking like today. It's been that way since before closing yesterday. So my schedule was full on yesterday. It turns a certain color when they've been confirmed. And I believe that all the appointments on my schedule are confirmed. So that's good. So that means if it's confirmed, if you cancel, I still get paid. I have not had a issue where someone canceled and then I didn't get a fill-in slot. So there's that. So let's do a little, self-care, because I did quite a few massages yesterday and I'm feeling it today, okay? So Fridays and Saturdays, just weekend days in general, I just tend to go a little bit up on the self-care, because 9 out of 10 times I never expect to not have anybody on the schedule. So I do what I gotta do to feel like doing massages, okay? So let's do the self-care. All right, so I finished that, and I am going to repeat that maybe 2 other times before it's actually time for my shift to start. And you can do this. So you say, why are you doing that, girl? it has, so if you have like arthritis, which I don't have arthritis, just inflammation, pain in your hands and things like that, I find that cold water actually works. I've given this instruction for someone else to do for injury that they had to their finger that wasn't necessarily an injury. It wasn't like it was visibly anything wrong with it. It was like an issue, felt like the bone was hurting. So something like arthritis pain. I instructed them to do this, and immediately the next day the pain in their finger was gone. And every time they got the same pain back, I told them to do this and it worked. So the pain has completely subsided. Again, it's just one of those things you kind of have to stay on top of. You're doing a lot of work with your hands. So when I say self-care, what I really mean is hand care, body care, whatever you're using, you're going to have to take care of. You're going to have to do something extra to take care, whether it's, whatever part of your body it is. You're just going to have to, or you're not going to be able to sustain doing it long. So I like to take care of my hands, because remember I told you I do like to do a bit more like finger work as far as the feet, and especially like on the neck, I like to do finger work. And to keep from not doing so many massages with my fists. Now, if the person's body calls for like fists and forearms, that's what we're doing. We're not going to I'm not going to sit here and, try to move through someone's very thick muscles with my hands and then hurt my hands for the rest of the day. I'm not going to do that. So I just wanted to show you this little piece. And like I said, I am going to do it again before my shift starts. But that's it for now. I'm just going to relax for the day. Well, not for the day. You know what I mean? Until my shift starts, which is quite some time away. Alrighty, so some time has passed and I want to do this because I have an appointment that just popped up that I'm actually not going to take. However, since I do have some time before my scheduled shift and I already know I only have 3 on the schedule, I could take another one, and I would definitely take a mobile massage just because remember I told you it pays more. But it has to be an appropriate appointment. So let's talk about appropriate in this situation. Appropriate would be close. This appointment looks like 49 minutes away, and that's not including traffic. So the time that it takes me to get there, to get back, it doesn't really make sense. Even though the time I could work it, I just don't want to do it. With that being said, I want to show you another appointment that I would not take. This appointment right here, I would not take because of the time of day it is. Now, I live in Houston, and just knowing the location where this is, it's downtown. Going downtown at 5 o'clock, it is literally like waiting for 2 hours in traffic, and it really doesn't make sense. The time that you have to leave and then even coming back, it doesn't make sense. And then a lot of time with the downtown appointments, the parking situation is less than desirable. The time is changing, so it does get dark. I think it gets darker earlier, right? So keeping all those things in mind, every time I've gone downtown, the parking situation has been like, basically, if it's not a hotel, sometimes the hotels validate parking. Most times I like actually taking hotel appointments, kind of depending on where the hotel is, right? Because I've taken like a boutique hotel, and you have to leave it up to the clients and then pay you for parking. And usually they'll take that out of your tip. So I don't necessarily like taking downtown appointments unless I know the hotel, and then I know the hotel will validate my parking, which some of the bigger brand hotels absolutely do this. The other appointment popped up last night, and I didn't take it, and I would not take an appointment like this because the appointment has a lot of notes concerning parking. Whenever I see this, I know that towing is possible. And I want you to think forward, like I'm thinking forward. If your car gets towed, they're going to be in their house enjoying their massage while you figure out how to get your car out of impound. So when parking is not like clear cut, it's not clear, I'm not going. Even if I have booked it and I get there and I see that like there's towing signs, I can't get a hold of the person to tell me where to park, I would not stay there, because is it worth paying to get your car to impound lot? You have to ask yourself that question. If anything else pops up, I'll pop in like this and I'll show you why I wouldn't take the appointment. But that's just to name a few. Like I told you, we're not chasing money like that. Okay, we don't take every appointment because every appointment does not make sense. Not making sense, you have to also think that a lot of times, like, people book frequent appointments and they had an opportunity to, let's say, book an independent massage therapist, and then they rather keep paying their money to the app because it's more convenient for them, and they're not paying attention to how inconvenient it is for the therapist. And I know tipping is not everything. Tipping is not required. However, if you know that it's a hard time for the therapist, you would think that people will leave extra tips, but I'm telling you, that is not always the case. Okay. Oh, busy lemon squeezy. Okay, it is just at 2 o'clock. I feel like my nose about to start running. It's just at 2 o'clock. And we're about to head to our shifty shift. And so my shift has changed. My shift is the same. My schedule has changed. Remember I told you I had a 90-minute appointment? Well, here's my updated schedule. I no longer have a 90-minute appointment, which is fine. I don't care either where it goes. Okay, I try not to get stuck in any, I want my stuff to be like this, and I don't like this person, and I heard someone say that they actually hate gift card things. I don't get in any of that. Okay, I'm grateful, like I said, for every single appointment. So the fact that it's changed now to 2 1-hour massages, that doesn't bother me either. I actually prefer it that way. And I guess it's just me just making good out of whatever. Because I said I didn't mind the 90-minute either, because then I only had 3, but now I have 4. So it's like it equates to more money for me, honestly, because usually each person tips as opposed to just getting an upgrade. So I guess that's something to look at. But there's my schedule. Looks like I have 1 couples massage, meaning that I got to be on my P's and my Q's as far as my timing is concerned, which is something always. But it kind of works out really good but the thing is, with the couples, you don't know the other person's schedule. So maybe somebody is doing like 4 in a row and they don't have a break. I have a break after my couples, so it's good for me. But like I said, still have to be on time with the other person. I don't know who I'm doing the couples with. At the end of the day, I really don't care. Okay, I've learned to not care. My couples room is really big, so it's like you don't have to pay attention to if you do it on this side of the body or that side of the body. You both can fit anyway, so I like that as well. And we only have 1 couples room, so we don't do many couples massages at this location, which is something new to me. Anytime I've worked in franchise, especially on the weekend, baby, it was couples. The last place that I worked, I believe they had 3 couples rooms, and the couples was always full. And I'll be honest in saying this, that let me tuck this on the other side. I'll be honest in saying that couples is not like, hold on, let me start driving and I'll finish talking. All right, so anyway, couples massages, I'm not just speaking for myself, I'm just saying, like, get from a general observation, people don't really like to do couples, and one of the reasons is because, like I said, you have to deal with another therapist, and most people like to do their things their own way, like, set in your ways kind of thing, and you can't really do that if you're working couples. Okay, now, good thing for me, the location I'm at, the people are pretty chill. It's not too much of that going on. But what I have noticed in the past is the reason why people don't generally like to do couples. When I do mobile couples, like with other therapists, Zeal and stuff like that, I will tell you that sometimes it can be very annoying. Okay, the upsides of doing a massage with couples when you're doing like mobile massage is just the extra security of another person being there. But as far as, some people will be late, like what you consider on time, what I consider on time is different. You don't have to really worry about that when you're doing not a couples massage. Another thing is, and this is for mobile, when you're offering stuff, like I don't offer hot stones and cups and all the extra stuff that I have when I'm doing a couple, just because I don't want to, like, one, make the clients feel like, oh, whoa, they're missing out, and then, mess with our money altogether. And I just don't want the client to feel like they're missing out because the other therapist doesn't have it. And then I also don't want the therapist to feel like I'm trying to, one up them. So it's a lot more to consider when you're doing couples massages. That's why people tend to not like to do them. On the plus side, I will say this, and like I said, I'm not one of those people who like money chaser, all about money, but I know you guys do want to hear about the coins as well, as I would if I was going into this, and we're going to talk about something here in a second. You tend to get tipped better when you're doing couples massages. I find that if the man gets the better massage, usually he's the one with the coins. And you can say what you want to say, but it's what it is, okay? Usually he's the one with the coins, usually he's the one paying, and usually if he gets a good massage, the tip is better. This is what I have noticed. I've noticed this for mobile, and I've noticed this for in-suite as well. So there's that. When you're doing a couples massage, very rarely, most of the times, especially doing like mobile, people like want to do, like, say, do you have Zelle, do you have Cash App or something like that? Like, they make sure that you get your tip when you're doing couples. So I guess that's something to just throw in there. Speaking of throw in there tips and schedules and money and all that kind of stuff, I have a question for you. I don't know if the comment's gonna be over here, but I'm still gonna ask it, just so you can ask yourself, just so I can say it out loud, okay? Do you have kids? Like, do you have kids, and do you have an older child that you make to be the parent? That's a question that I watched a few things just before getting ready for work that really bothered my spirit, and I've realized that this is a very like prevalent thing that people do. You have all these kids, and then the oldest kid, you make them to be a parent way before it's time, and then you're upset when they begin to do things that are very adult-like. You know what I mean? And sex is definitely one of those things. Do you have kids? Are you doing that to your kids? If you are, you really need to stop. And I know the economy is hard, all this kind of stuff, but you have to make better judgment and just do better. We have to do better as mothers. And I'm not just talking about black mothers, because some of the stuff that I saw wasn't just black mothers. Actually, it was all of us. It was all of us. So I'm speaking about mothers in general. Are you doing this kind of thing? And the reason why I mentioned it here in this video about massages, one thing that I noticed about massage, thank you, Holy Spirit. One thing I noticed about massage, and I wish I would have known way back when, was this is one of those things that can work around your schedule. So the schedule that I work is not because they just gave it to me and said, hey, this is schedule and work. The schedule that I work is one that I chose because it works with my family schedule, so that my children aren't watching themselves. I take appointments when it works with my schedule so that my children aren't watching themselves. And I have a teenager, but I also have a younger child, and I had to learn the hard way that children need to be watched. Even teenagers more so, of course. They need guidance. You know what I mean? You don't just leave them to their own devices. Okay? If you coming home, like I told you guys, so I can say this, I use a drop-off service. Well, I'm monitoring when you coming home. I'm actually home when you coming home. I'm very much in the mix. And I had to learn. I was a teenage mother, so I had to learn the hard way, like I said, that it really would behoove you to be in the midst before stuff started to hit the fan. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's what I really like about massage. And like I said, I wish I would have known that, or just known that there were jobs like that before, that you could basically like build your own schedule. I know it's hard to find like childcare and stuff like that. I mentioned to you guys before, like I don't have family that could watch my kids and stuff like this, so we have to make sure that we're on top of these things. But the Lord is faithful, and he's gracious, and he shows mercy, okay? And I'm telling you that he could work that out for you as well. I know there are other things like nursing is one of them, right? You're just gonna have to find some work with your schedule, but I wanted to let you know that massage is definitely one of those, in case you had questions about like how you make the schedule work. Because somebody asked me before, like, how do you manage your schedule? I manage it by managing it, like less on the complaining, more on the paying attention to what it is that you actually need to get what you need done. Okay, so there's that. I've rambled enough. I'm gonna go work my shift. Remember, my room is not free. Somebody's in my room this morning, so my room is probably not going to be free until the top of the hour, so 55 minutes after my first appointment's at 3. And I am not one of those therapists who are like, you better hurry up, you better get my room together, you need to hurry. I'm not one of those people. I'm just not. I had somebody who was like that, not at this location. I had somebody who was like that, who came in the room after me at another location, and it very much bothered me. It's like, don't come up in here bullying me. because you're gonna get what you're looking for. Okay, I'm gonna have to get you together. We're not gonna do that, but I don't do that. So if the person is running a little behind, I know at the end of the day, you don't want to be running behind, just like I don't want you to be running behind. So I'll ask them, what do they need? Like, you need me to get you some sheets, you need me to get you towels, something. Is there towels in the towel warmer? Do I need to, like, let me know what I need to help you out with. And I've noticed that most of the people here are like that as well. Like, we help each other out. First time for everything, but I really do like that. And like the other day, yesterday, my clients were running just kind of like, the time was a little wonky, okay? Some people came in a little late. First time people came in a little late, had to fill out extra paperwork and stuff like that. And what I did was looked at the person's schedule who's coming in after me so that I'm not running behind. So, you know, a little courtesy. So I'm not running behind it. It looks like they staggered his appointment. So I had an extra like 30 minutes before, you know, as a gap before his first client. Even though he came in, there still was a big gap in there. Sometimes it's not like that, but I just make sure to plan out my day accordingly. Looking at the person who's coming in after me's room, as well as my schedule, and seeing how I need to, you know, manage my time. And I only have a few days that I have to worry about that. Really, it's only the weekend that you really have to worry about that, because it's the weekend, it's busier. During the weekdays, girl, you probably get your own room at this point. Okay, it's like you don't have to share a room. So there's that. Like I said, let me stop rambling. I'm gonna go in, get started with my shift, and then maybe after my break, I'll come to you guys maybe at the end of the night, because it's not very much the same. It's a very weird angle, but we gonna work with it. Okay, girl, I'm on my break. That's water, by the way. I'm on my break. And my first two clients, oh, girl, you know what? I'm gonna just go like this. My first two clients, not hard bodies, but hard bodies. Neither one of them asked for a deep tissue massage. But just when you feel the body, you kind of know what pressure to give. That's something that you learned along the way. You cannot give someone, and I know this because I am the someone, you cannot give hard body yaddy, okay, a feather massage, because it's going to feel like you're rubbing lotion on them and they're not going to like it, okay? So you can just kind of gauge. Most of the time people, even when people say they want deep tissue, most of the time what they want is the pressure that fits their body. And over time, you understand what that means. And I guess I have an advantage, like I said, because I am that type of person. Like, I have a lot of, you know what, this is not about me. Okay, I just know. Okay, so there's that. My first client, she didn't get massaged a lot. I think she said it's her second massage ever. So I like those kind of clients because, you know, pressure is kind of like, they're still trying to figure out what they want as far as pressure. Now, there's some people who get massage, girl, they in here every 2 weeks and they have everything to say. They'll tell you where they're not to locate it. Those kind of clients are not my favorite clients, okay? And I've learned to do the type of massage that you do. So do your style of massage. If they like it, they come back. If they don't, it's good for you, because you're not doing a massage for someone who just doesn't like the style of massage you give. We all do different styles. Secondly, I did a couples massage, and where do I go with the couple? I just told you how couples massage be, and I literally just told you it don't bother me, but I understand why people are bothered by it, because some people, like, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and tell the story, because this is my channel, right? And if I feel some type of way about telling the story later, then I'll just take it out. But so the lady turned the lights completely off during the massage, and I'm like, you know, usually you ask people, and maybe it's just me, but I ask people, I'm like, hey, which table do you want? Hey, you know, I'm going to use my timer, you do your thing, you know, how do you like the lights? I ask people. I don't just go doing stuff, because you're doing a massage together. And I mentioned that this room is big, so you can, like, both people can walk on the same side of the table at one time. But I didn't know this because I hadn't been in this situation before. If you use a chair, that's not the case. If you use a chair, you kind of have to wait on people. It still doesn't bother me, but that's what I mean by that kind of lack of courtesy. And some people are just like, you know, they claim to be doing all these energy works and all this kind of stuff, and they're just crude. They're like mean people. They're mean. But I'm just not the one. I'm not the you actually got one good time to try to boss me around, and you're gonna figure out that I'm not the one, because I'm just not the one. I'm not the one for that. And I just don't like when people do that to other people, especially when you assume that you know, somebody won't get you together. So the lady was like, so I have my little timer. I showed you guys it before. It counts down. It counts down. So let's say the massage, you know, they do massages here. It's 50 minutes. We do massage, usually franchise. If it's a 60-minute massage, it's usually 50 minutes. That's usually a standard thing. 90 minutes, usually 80 minutes, that's usually standard. However, sometimes the people are late, or sometimes we're late getting in. I like to give people their full 50 minutes. I've noticed that most therapists, they just stop at a time. So they'll take time off of people's thing, and it's their fault that the people were late. You know what I mean? Like it's them that were running behind, but they will shave the time off. I do not do that. I don't cheat people of their time. So the timer lets me know, you know, this is the full time. Now, if you want to do something different, which I have been doing massages before, couples massage, and the person like, but that's a communication thing. You know what I mean? Just communicate with the other person. Hey, I'm ready to end the massage, because maybe maybe I'm done. Maybe it's 2 minutes on the clock, but sometimes the massage is done even though there's 2 minutes on the clock. That's the thing. But when you're doing a couples massage, you must communicate. And I feel like most people just want to be bossy and they don't want to communicate. Well, that's not the way we do things. And you might do things with a lot of people like that, but you won't be doing things with me like that. And I want you to be that same kind of person. You won't be doing it with me like that. You need to communicate. You need to communicate. She was like, I haven't used a timer since school. And I'm thinking to myself, what are you trying to say? Because the timer was actually spot on. So the exact time on the clock that we were supposed to stop, the timer said that. So what's the problem? There is no problem. The problem is you wanted to be in control of what's going on in the room fully. And the person got their full time. I said, oh, okay, well, next time, you know, the timer is for me. You can choose to use, you know, whatever you like. You can use your regular clock. It doesn't matter. You could stop your massage. Once you stop your massage, that's you and your client stop your massage. Ideally, we would be in tandem in some kind of way, because, you know, it's a couple's massage. But if you stop your massage 30 seconds before me, while I am, you know, exiting, telling my client like, hey, I'm gonna leave you your hot towel. Would you like some water? You could be ending your massage. There's no need to talk to me about that. But like I said, some people they're just set in their ways. Don't be one of those people. Not just in massage and anything. You're just so set in your ways that you're just hard to be around. And I was telling my husband this, you know, I don't think people realize, we're talking about bosses, and we're talking about how bosses who are married are usually easier to work for, right? And there's a reason for that. For the most part, I'm not trying to talk about everybody, but for the most part, bosses, like if you have a male boss, usually the man, as long as he's married, he's easier to work for. If you have a female boss, as long as she's married, she's usually easier to work for. People who just, you know, they're all by themselves, they live in their own world, they march to the beat of their own drum, they usually are tyrants. Like, it's very weird. And I don't think people realize, because marriage, you know, we were made to be in relationship with each other, and marriage is one of those relationships where communication is a must. Selflessness is a must, which is why you see, you know, the marriage rate ain't doing what a marriage rate is supposed to do. Not just among the Christian folks, just among people in general. You know why? Because people are selfish. Did the Bible not warn us of this? That this will be the end times. That people will be selfish. They will be lovers of themselves. They will just be all out wicked and just mean. You know what I mean? And, you know, it's just, I'm like, girl, pipe that down. Pipe that down. You think you're going to get me out of character? You won't. I don't work enough hours here for you to get on my nerves. But I do recognize what you do. Satan, get thee behind me. Okay, get thee behind me. Because guess what I'm not going to do? I'm not going to complain. And when I mean complain, I don't mean sit here and tell you. I'm telling you because I want you to know how it goes kind of like behind the scenes. But guess what? guess what? The joy of the Lord is my strength. I'm not going to go up there to the front desk and say, I can't do another couples massage with her and mess up my money. I'm not going to do that. We're going to move. Excuse me. So there's that. So as I sit out here in my car and pound out my arm, I have some time. I can also sit out here and do my, I'm sorry, it's going to rattle my voice. I can do my soap notes, which, like I said, soap notes are really straightforward here. I absolutely love that. I actually have one that I need to do from yesterday, and then the 2 for today. Pretty straightforward. And it looks like I have one gentleman, so I got 2 more massages left. One is a man, and I really hope, young sir, is a soft body yachty. I really hope my next class, whoever has a soft body, they're gonna get the massage of the day. When I say the massage of the day, like, it's just different. It's different when you get to do the work with your hands. It's not that, I told you what kind of client I prefer. I like squishy clients, not like, I know I sound like a weirdo saying that, right? You sound excited, right? I like just, people with a little meat on their bones, and it's like squishy meat. It's not like bodybuilder, because that stuff be breaking up your wrist, girl. So I'm gonna sit here and do this. Ooh, right there, girl, right there. Ooh, right there. Hello from the ghetto. That came from Good Times, just in case. I always say it, but hello from the ghetto. I don't know if I always say it to y'all, but I always say it. Like I say it when I answer the phone. Anyway, hello from the ghetto. Hello from the not so ghetto. Today was a great day. Today is in the books, okay? And, I got a little second win in there. The bottom leg of the day. And I just love that because my girl really wanted to relax. So my last 2 clients wanted to relax. Really, everybody today wanted to relax. But I already told you about some people's bodies. It's like, okay. But my last 2 clients really wanted to relax, and so I have this little thing. I used to, I'm a runner, right? I'm a runner. Yeah. I used to run track, but I'm a runner. And there's this phenomenon that happens when you get close to, the finish line. If you're a good runner, you know how to, thank you, Holy Spirit. That's a good one even for life. Okay, I got you. You see, I got a second win, right? You're a good runner. You know how to really tap into your second win and just use that last energy. I don't have anything else to do today except eat some dinner, girl. So using the rest of my energy didn't bother me at all. And I was just going to give it all that I got. So that's what I did for my last 2 clients. And as you can see, I still have some to spare. Okay? Because they both fell asleep. So if you're going to fall asleep, it's good for me. The tips today were tipping. Okay? The tips today was a really good tip day. I'm so glad that remember I had that one 90-minute, it turned out to be 2 massages, and like I told you, that means more tips, because that's just how it goes. But yeah, today is a really good tip day. I got a cash tip as well. I don't know how much it is, and if I didn't know how much it was, I told you I wasn't going to tell you. Excuse me, because I think that's a bit tacky. I'm not going to stop nowhere. The same thing I had for lunch. Girl, that chicken was so good. I think I'm going to have the same thing for dinner because we have a few plates at home. I really, I'm doing the mature thing, and that is I don't spend my money on food. Girl, I got kids, okay? I spend my money on okay, I can tell you this. I spend my money on stuff that actually is going to make a difference in my budget. Like, I'll spend my tips on gas. I'll spend my tips on, my son's ride payment. I'll spend my tips on, I don't know, stuff for my daughter's lunch, play outings and stuff like that. I spend my tips on stuff like that. I refuse to eat my money. Okay, the devil is a liar. I refuse to eat my money. If you're one of these people, you eat your money, your whole budget is in your belly. Lord have mercy. stop that, because it's like, okay, when you look back at the calculations, remember what I told you guys earlier today, how I keep track of, you look back at the calculations, like, oh, okay, I made $500 extra, like undocumented dollars, but where'd it go? And it's like, okay, none of it went to bills, none of it went to any of my responsibilities, all of it went to my belly. All of it went to my belly at this point, and it's a no for me. That's poverty. Go watch that video that I did the other day. That's a poverty. That's the spirit of poverty when you make moves like that. And sometimes it's hard to recognize, but when you recognize it, baby, the devil is a liar. No. If I gotta pack my snack, I'm gonna pack my snack. If I gotta eat a whole meal before I leave home, I'm gonna eat a whole meal before I leave home. Okay. And you know, there was another piece in here. I don't know if I'm gonna keep that or whatnot. I talk to you guys about couples massages, and sometimes the other therapists are just hard to work with. I had a situation like that today, and it's not hard to work with in the way that you might think. It's like hard to work with as in like people's personalities. Some people are just very controlling, and it's sometimes it could be a lot. But let me tell you something, and then I'm about to go. Don't let these people mess up your money. Okay, they run you off a job, they sitting there on the job, and then you sitting there looking like how I'm gonna pay my bills. Don't let these people mess up your coins. Okay, all right. As always, if you have a question, ask one, and I'll see you in the next video.